Thank you very much for joining. We have a very interesting session. It's the 76th session of Rare Share by Aurangabad Management Association at Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. And it's a great pleasure to all of you to welcome you here at MIT campus. Let me begin with the formal welcome, and I will request Shri Satishji Kagliwal, Chairman of AMA, to present a bouquet and give a formal welcome to Mr. Munish Sharma. And I will request Satishji once again to give a formal welcome or bouquet welcome to Mr. Munish, to Mr. Kulkarni. I will request President of AMA, Mr. Ashish Garde, to say a few words about 76th Rare Share of AMA at CSM.
Good evening and welcome to all for this 76th Rare Share of AMA. Before highlighting about the 76th Rare Share, all of you are quite eager to listen to the conversation between Munish Sharma and Mukund Kulkarni. Let me quickly give you brief background of AMA. Most of you would be here maybe for the first time attending Rare Share. AMA is a 45-year-old organization. AMA was established by then veterans in academia as well as industry. Professor Ganesh Rao, Pratap Murade sir, Nanasaheb Bhogle, and there were many others who were involved in the inception of AMA. My association with AMA, I just scribbled the old papers. I noticed it is almost 25 years now when C.P. Tripathi sir had initiated the activities of, reinitiated the activities of AMA then while he was heading Bajaj Auto, and like meeting him, Satish Tripathi, Satish Kagliwal ji was very interesting and inspiring. In those days, we used to have presentations from various industries, like Aurangabad, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar was booming at that point of time, and the best practices of various industries were presented to the budding managers in the ecosystem, and it was quite a learning experience for everyone. We had presentations from Goodyear, Johnson & Johnson. At that point of time, we had Colgate also here, and there were many stalwarts who had presented various best practices of their respective industries then. I recollect we had 25 such presentations from various leading organizations functioning from Aurangabad at that point of time. What AMA is today is thanks to C.P. Tripathi sir and Satish Kagliwal ji, and especially the entire NAAC group and the NAAC group team represented by Santosh Joshi, Mr. Falke and others. Like all back office of AMA operates from NAAC group, and all meetings of AMA are held at NAAC office, and the entire team supports activities of AMA in an exceedingly well manner. Subsequently, when we started Rare Share, the series of Rare Share, many academic institutions have supported the hosting of Rare Share. We had couple of Rare Shares hosted at MGM, few at Devgiri College, some at Government Engineering College, and now we have shifted our venue to MIT. So future Rare Shares will be hosted in MIT. Yesterday itself, I had a discussion with and they have kindly accepted to support.
I thought you were saying yesterday I had discussion with typical auditor. Of course.
So we have amongst us Kaude sir also, Mrs. Kaude also, and I thank the entire MIT team for their generous support. We will continue such Rare Shares and few other activities in days to come. Ved introduced me as president of AMA. Frankly, it was, I would say, the compelling message from Tripathi sir and Kakiwal sir, both of whom I respect a lot, and I cannot say no to them. So that's how I am here. And today we have with us Munish Sharma and Mukund Kulkarni. Both are my Guru Mitra. I learn a lot from them on an ongoing basis. And today is also one such occasion where we have to learn a lot from the excellent expedition from Munish. So today's session is about how to pause in life. What a person can learn through that phase. It's demonstration of passion. It's about the people. It's about the purpose. It's about planet. And if I have to sum up all together, it's about pleasure. So I won't take much of time because all of us are eager to listen to the conversation between Mukund and Munish. Over to you.
Let the journey begin. I will request Mukund sir, please take it forward.
Namaste, good evening to all of you. Salud. We have still time to take decision where to sit.
Now we add chairs here.
छोट्या अशा मांडता येतील एवढी तयारी करून ठेवा 15-1 लोक तर नक्की येणार.
त्याबद्दल टीव्ही चेअर लावून
See, 21,000 kilometers, 20 countries, 69 days is something which is amazing. The subject is interesting, the expedition is challenging, and that is how it becomes point of discussion. We take pleasure out of activity, understand from him and say great, and take experience. Second, take inspiration and travel. Maybe 200 kilometers yourself, maybe 2,000 kilometers yourself, or just copy him to travel 20,000 kilometers. See, before we start this interaction, I think it will be quite interesting if you take us through your route, maybe for 3-4 minutes, so that we start traveling with you. Otherwise, what will happen, you have habit of driving fast and we will be lagging behind. So what we want is take us into your car and take us around. Over to you.
Thank you, Mukund. See, first of all, let me admit that you all are more adventurous than me. possibly any advantage which I can take up in my life, because today you are attending this program. It's raining profusely outside, and surprisingly when I got a call from Sameer, so I thought now attendance will be very less. Even Sameer said that I am coming, don't worry. Because he is the most adventurous person in this audience. So I got a good idea about it. I said, let us shift the venue to a smaller place, and we'll have a very interesting audience there, a small closed space. And second thing is, I think this is my second time on AMA Rare Share. The first time I don't know whether it was rare or not. I don't know even this time there should be something rare in my whatever the interaction I will have with all of you. But it is certainly rare that it is the second time in the history of 76 rare shares that one person is coming twice.
Person is so rare.
Yeah. So see, basically I have made a small video because I felt after completing the journey and a lot of interactions are happening since then I came back from the trip. So I thought it is very important to have this kind of video to really take you on board. So therefore I have made a video which is maybe of 5 to 6 minutes, but I would like that you should see that video first. Can you play the video, please?
One side is very deep.
reference point. Okay. Therefore, I try to thought that this is some video presentation. So
Yeah. See, Munish, that is amazing, and I think 7 minute video, we felt like it's a 2 or 3 minute video. Rough road to start with, we can see that, and then beautiful world thereafter. See, before going into, we understood how you traveled and what you witnessed. But I think the major travel path that you traveled along was kind of Silk Route. So maybe it would be good if you indicate that which are those countries and what is the significance of this route with connection with India. So that can be a good starting point, so that we have connected with visuals, and now we want to understand route, countries, and connection with India.
So see, as on today, there are 3 ways you can travel by road from this place to London. So one is via Myanmar, other one is via Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and third which we took. So out of 3 routes, actually the only possible route is this one which I have taken in this trip. Other 2s are not possible. One is because of political reasons. Both are because of political reasons. In fact, the route which I have taken, that was also closed because of 2015 earthquake and Tibet earthquake, and because of that the whole route was closed for 4-5 years. But this route, as Mukund is that what was that route? Of course, we entered Nepal from Gorakhpur. From here we drove till Gorakhpur, it's close to 1500 kilometers. And from Gorakhpur we enter Nepal, is the most easiest border to enter. But very important when you have to go by road and come by air from other place, then you need a stamp. Otherwise you really don't need a stamp on your passport. But if you are going like this, you need a stamp there actually. So that is the only formality which you are supposed to do. Very difficult to identify where is the immigration office, because you feel like it is a chai ki tapri. So it's a very unamusing kind of place. And of course we spent a good time in Nepal. We stayed at 2-3 places. Kathmandu you are supposed to stay a little longer, and that will be the working days in a week. The reason being because if you have to go by road, you need a Tibet permit. That only you can get it there. You are supposed to remain present physically in Kathmandu in Nepal to get a Tibet permit, and that is the entry to China. And we got it. We were having one additional day we could explore. Kathmandu was a great place. Okay. So then from, of course, there you have to enter Tibet. It's an autonomous region in China. And then you get into mainland China, then you get to another autonomous region which is called Xinjiang, and that will take you to the Central Asia, a country called Kyrgyzstan. So we drove 5,000 kilometers in China. So Kyrgyzstan, and from there you have to be in the Uzbek to Kazakh, and from Kazakh to Russia, Russia to Georgia, Georgia to Turkey, and from Turkey you get into Europe, and this all Balkan countries, Bulgaria, Serbia, Croatia, all these countries, and it is basically Eastern Europe, and from Eastern to center to, of course, you enter in Germany, Western Germany, and from there to Netherlands to France, and France you have to get the ferry. The Calais is the place where you have to get into the ship, and that is 1.5 hour ship journey, and you get down at Dover, is at UK side. From there again you have to drive 2.5 to 3 hours till central London. So we went up to the Westminster. We had the last photograph which you saw is at the Thames, or the Parliament building behind an Indian flag. So that is basically the route, and all put together is maybe from here it is close to 18,000 plus, but you take lot of side trips, and if you add all those side trips, it is close to 21,000 kilometers drive. That is the route.
Yeah. So quick point is generally we talk Silk Route, but we would like to, you have experienced that. What is that and what is connection with India?
Yes, this is actually almost all the Silk Route. Better रहने दो करें, मैं बताऊंगा जब, हाँ, प्रतीक जाओगे, शांत हो। So yes, this is Silk Route, but even I was we under little wrong impression that when we talk about Silk Route, it is a very specific route. Yes, you can say the trunk route is one route, but it route has lot of arteries. And I have taken one map, which is very old map, which I am going to show you here. It's talking about the Silk Route, okay? And I could, really convinced with that map because the ocean shown, like Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Marmara, all those seas are present in the map, so you can take the reference. Because we have evolved even geographically in China, all the four sides, they have acquired a lot of lands of other countries. So there is a lot of change even in geographical boundaries and borders. But I think even one artery is up to our Ajanta and Ellora here. Of course, Srinagar is very important point on the Silk Route. If you see the India map, the Silk Route run on the head of it. Okay, on the head of it, in a very simple way I could see, is going to Central Asia to Europe, and I could stay at few very important junctions. And one of the junction which I will talk later on is nothing like, it's just like Ajanta and Ellora. You feel like, how come the sculptures and paintings and the concept and, you could really see that how the trade has happened, how along with the trade, the religion, languages, everything has traveled. So you can link all those things very nicely, and culture is one important aspect. And you could see that that site which I am talking about, that site came around 1,000 years later than Ajanta and Ellora. So you can see the refinement in that. But conceptually, culturally, it looks very similar.
See, on this point, when you were explaining and we saw in videos and pictures, you traveled through different terrains, lot of different variety of road conditions, or more importantly, weather. So just to get a feel what kind of terrains you traveled, what were those on-road challenges, just to get a geographical feel of wherever you have traveled.
Yes, I think possibly if I now would travel to any part of the world, I could tell with guarantee that I have seen this other than Antarctica. Okay. So all the possible terrains. Okay, you talk about hill, mountain, valley, canyon. You can talk about loop roads. You can talk about desert. You talk about forest. Any possible terrain you talk about, I could see that terrain in this journey. And I traveled in one of the toughest plateau, which is called, it is from southwest China to northwest China. It's a Qinghang province which connects Tibet to mainland China. So I drove there 500 kilometer average height of 15,000 feet, and with outside temperature varies from 0 to -5. Very windy, and it is that plateau is called roof terrace of the world. Okay, so it's like that, and it's very difficult to get a stable base for the road there, because of the extreme temperature outside, a lot of variation in the temperature, and therefore the whole road was kind of undulating throughout. It was tough driving there. I actually saved one. It was आप जैसे बोल सकते हो कि भगवान का याद आए तो so there was one incident and it was my mistake actually. So that was the one of the toughest terrain. In fact, initial 20 days of drive are the toughest. Both in terms of the terrain, and also in terms of you have to mentally also prepare that you are on the trip like that. There is no U-turn. There is only way you have to go forward. There is nobody is going to help you, and we are so pampered. I am telling you, to just get into that mindset itself consumes a lot of time. So I think everything outside teaches you that will train you. So within 2 weeks time, you know that yes, I am okay with that. So it is from minus 10 degree to 45 degrees Celsius kind of weather we traveled, and 45 unfortunately or fortunately both the time we stuck on borders, having all the sun. And borders are interesting, by the way. I will talk later on.
Yeah.
So crossing borders by road is very, very unique, very exceptional kind of experience, and it is scary also.
Yeah, but before talking on borders, that is one of the important questions I have. Two sub questions based on your explanation. आपने बोला कि भगवान याद आ गया, तो दो सवाल ये है. पहला कि बॉडी एंड माइंड प्रिपेयर करने के लिए क्या करना पड़ा. It's not as easy. You were saying that temperatures are varying, terrains are different, conditions are so challenging. और दूसरा आपको भगवान याद आ गया. So how you prepared for your mind and body? First question. And couple of incidents जहाँ पे आपको लगा कि हाँ भगवान मेरे साथ है.
See, one thing was very clear even before starting the trip. Because I started exploring when I was almost sure that I am going. I started studying the route. I started searching a lot of things related to that route. And therefore, in fact, I took lecture from National University Singapore. We have one something of Singapore. So on Euro-Asian steppes, because that is the one area we were crossing.
Okay.
So in fact, I am more of a student of history. Like extensive history I read. Last 10-12 years I read a lot of history. So that was the great motivation that I am now going to connect with what I read. Was something there in the mind. And mental preparation, of course, because of something, if you are really interested in something deeply, so that helps. I could really work on that during my trip. And another, what I would say that when you have options in your life, that stop you. Actually, you have a great mental power. Provided you have no options. If you have options, you always compromise, and you never ever realize that there is something so great which is with you, and that you experience every day. And that doesn't give you only mental strength, but that gives you the real ultimate mental peace. And in my trip, it is not about mental strength, it is more about mental peace. And touching to that aspect of your personality is something amazing outcome of this whole trip. So of course that is one thing.
Second is भगवान याद आ गया आपको ऐसे.
Yes. भगवान याद अभी कोई नेपाल में आ गए थे. Because that is the only country where you see Hinduism, later on all Buddhism, Islam and Christianity you could see throughout the trip. See what happened in Nepal. I was in second last in the convoy, and the landslide happened just in front of my car. I mean, it was so close, I couldn't even put my foot on the pedal, brake pedal. It was that close. And my companion couldn't even notice that, but back car could notice that. They were having time. And I think that was something which even couldn't shake me little that, okay, it was fine. But that a little, just a flash of it, I experienced and I normalized. In my past driving experience, if I could see some fatal accident on road, I always take brake because I can't drive. Thereafter, I have to take brake because you feel like there is no power in your leg. You see some accident like this. But in trip, this thing, I didn't get any that. I mean that kind of person, but still I was okay with that. In one of the incidents, I couldn't stop myself to make a video because it was so scenic outside, and I thought of capturing it while driving. Of course, I was driving, so I thought I should capture it, and almost the just fraction of second, I could save from the front collision, and there I stopped. Then I took a break for 5 minutes because it was just chilly. That was in Tibet, and thereafter I decided not to capture side view. Well, I can take front, but not the side view. It's so risky. And that was a real lesson, and I thought, no, nothing will. And that was second. And third was in is the Pamir highway. That was a night time. We were driving. Pamir highway is considered as the most notorious highway because you never know when the weather changes. Within few minutes you will find raining, snowing, and even sun. So that kind of weather you see. Unfortunately, because of we spent more time than expected in Uzbek, and we were about to cross that highway during the day, and we reached there quite late in the night, and that was very risky. And once it happened that my tire was almost out from the road. Very difficult to make judgment. The reason because the side was complete snow, and it was snowing heavily, and visibility was very poor, and that was the third chance. But otherwise, I could have the real safe drive throughout without any traffic violation, without any ticket.
So thanks to the God and to your car.
Car, I think, of course, all the engineers sitting here can really appreciate that. First time I could realize the real engineering. Okay, I really appreciate my car. I wrote a thanks note to the car manufacturer, and that kind of feeling was there. And I wrote to the Volvo International actually. Sunil, you had experience of Volvo. So I wrote to Volvo International, I got a reply from them, and they said, okay, great, we will print it to our international magazine over here, yes, audience. And it was from my heart, okay. I couldn't stop myself. Twice I have written, and I have not sent. I sent it when I came back. So twice I written, just kept it with me. So I have written that thanks note to them, and I got a reply. They said, can we send you a gift? So I said, no, it's not for a gift. It's a real admiration. And then still they insisted, no, we want to. Then they wrote to the Volvo MD India, and Volvo India also that pursued with this gentleman. We want to send him gift, I don't know when the gift will come, but the real, you really feel so good about the machine, you feel so good about the engineering, and excellent car. No trouble. I have done no service throughout 21,000 kilometers, zero problem.
Munish, now I have three major questions. I will tell all three questions. You can decide how to explain, and if you want to go through some slides to explain, that will be great. See, during this, when I was thinking of your travel, three questions came to my mind. The first one is you cross number of borders. First experience is, how do you read people when you have traveled so many countries, so many locations? Is first question. What is your understanding, perception, experiences?
I will give you a few
No,
examples.
I'll put all three questions and then feel free to explain. Maybe you can open up the slides.
You are always handsome, boy.
Yeah. Second is, you have traveled through a couple of challenging regions.
Yeah.
Where we read in newspaper, we Google and we see something and there are challenging regions. You traveled through that. what is your experience when you traveled through challenging regions? And that too, you traveled when two challenging scenarios, three challenging scenarios were there. Maybe the Ukraine war, maybe the India-Pakistan turbulence, and then the initiation of Iran and Israel. So, what was your experience when you traveled through challenging regions? And third, when you move from one border to another, that means one country to another country, how do you see any change? Is there any cultural change? Is there any obvious behavioral pattern that you have observed? So these are questions. Feel free to explain in whatever sequence you want.
Slide icon. That's random. See, I have almost a picture of almost all the borders, but I don't have picture of China border. Chinese border, actually they are very, very strict. Because our route is very sensitive. All 5,000 kilometers what we drove is the most sensitive region of China. Even if Chinese, they supposed to go to those regions, they need a permit. They can't go to that place, being Chinese even to those places. Okay. That is number one. And we were having instruction that we are crossing China through Tibet. So don't carry any picture which has Tibetan flag, Dalai Lama, or anything related to, it shows even, I changed my t-shirt on that day, it was maroon by the way. So, of course we were knowing it, the China border crossing will be tricky because when you are driving with your own car, it becomes more tricky. Okay. So we entered in China border. That's one experience I want to share with you. There are 1,000, but I will share this Chinese experience. So very much disciplined. So we were coming with the background of Nepal and India, immigration offices and the security system zero. And in China, everything was very organized. Very, very organized. Okay, just cross one bridge, and on the one side from the bridge, from where you enter from Nepal is pathetic, but other side, everything, you find sea change. Okay, so they took us inside with the cars. There is some system. Every border has their own way of checking. Okay, so they saw some of our cars were having branding with the Indian flag. Okay, one of the gentlemen started seeing the
Indian map.
Indian map, not flag. Indian map and with the lens and all those things. And then they said, okay, you take out your cars and park somewhere else. So we were out from the main inspection area and we were in the reserve parking. And then the matter got escalated to someone else, and likewise they consumed a lot of time. And finally they communicated to us, in Chinese border, in any border for that matter, you can't intervene in the process. No logic works. You have to just listen. You are at receiving end. You have to just watch. If they call you, then only you have to go. Otherwise, you stay where you are staying. Okay. So then we got a message finally that remove Indian map because it was having Arunachal Pradesh. So you can't drive with the same map on your car. Either you scrap it half, you scrap that portion, but with the same map you can't go. And that too, we are not removing. You remove yourself and show us that map is removed. Okay? That then.
But did they say to remove Arunachal Pradesh?
No, they didn't say that. That is our assumption. We can remove even this much is okay, but we were knowing why they are taking the decision. That with this map you can't travel in China. Okay, that was one thing. Okay, so of course they were very good in terms of communication, no aggression, nothing. Then they took us inside. It consumed 6.5 hours to come out. Everything very professional, technology wise, this, that. All the borders you have dog checking, you have scanners, you have whole car scan. They can randomly check even after X-ray. They can tell you to take out your luggage. They can ask for opening luggage. So this is very, very common. And of course, thanks to China border, we could gather the real patients that what we are going to see. So exit was the same. I played cricket there for 6.5 hours outside 0 degree temperature. And that was also crazy because China exit is a 40-kilometer distance between immigration and border security and custom. So first comes the border security and custom, and then you have to drive 40 kilometers, then the immigration comes. Okay. So when we reached at immigration, they said your cars are not involved in the system. So you have to go back. No, you can't go back because your visa is expired. It's already stamped. You can't take your car out. Fortunately, we were having the guide with us who was carrying his own car. He went with all our RCs, the passports and everything. And it was actually, we realized later on that it was that person was so crazy, adamant. There was nothing wrong. That custom border security said everything is in. You need not to do anything. Go back. And even after going back, he was coming all the time. Be in queue, be in queue. We were in the queue actually. I don't know what was the frustration, and that took a lot of time. That is how we got late and we crossed Pamir highway from China to Kyrgyzstan during the night, and it was really very, very risky travel. And as far as people you are saying, I think you have to, each one of us have some notions, okay? So which is because of our conditioning, our upbringing, because of our culture and the other habits, okay? You have to leave all those things, okay? You have to get into their shoes. People are very interesting. You need little fine tuning and you would really find the great response. And throughout my trip, if I have something very great to tell, it's all about people. And I'm telling you, one of my realizations, I think this world is made by common people, not by kings. Okay? So they are the real culture bearers. They are the people at ground. Gate decides what king has to follow. I'm telling you. So, and for me, common man is someone who thinks beyond your choices, who thinks beyond religion, who thinks beyond all the borders which we have created, and someone who really preaches humanity. And I have not seen a single person whom I would say is not human. So great. And you were asking, did you ever think of coming back because of India, Pakistan, because of a lot of escalation in Russia, Ukraine, and the Turkey political stand on Indian-Pakistan war? I think the one thing, the confidence which we are getting from the ground, from the people at down, was unbelievably great. Okay, I am telling you Turkey border experience. In Turkey, we got a lot of preparation. Okay, now Turkey is coming. We have to be like this, that I will start with Islam alaikum. But how? So we did a lot of preparation. So when I went to the window, immigration window, that gentleman said, "Are you from Gandhi's land?" I said, "Yes, you are welcome." The shortest entry in the whole trip, not even in Europe, it was Turkey. And not only that, when we came out from the border at the exit side of the Turkey, for picture, I said, okay, let us catch the memory, let us take the picture. And unknowingly, my car was in the room, no parking. Police was there, will look at my car. How you can park in the no parking? I said, I'm extremely sorry for that. He said, let us unpark your car. Take the picture, whatever the picture you want. And half an hour, he allowed me to stand there. Till then, other cars are getting cleared. He said, okay, you park. Otherwise, the legal parking was almost 300-400 meters away from there. Okay. So border experiences are great. Kyrgyzstan to Uzbek, we thought we will finish in 1.5 hours. Friendly border. You had just crossed the gate and all those things. Uzbek was the craziest border, even craziest than China because of the drug trafficking. And you are taking your car. And in border we could see that if someone is on duty, you may be the senior. You can't interfere. If he'll say that I want the whole car should be empty, No, if I am requesting, sir, please help me, he's asking this, we have already done X-ray, we have already done this, thereafter we have the car X-ray also, why are you doing so? No, nothing works. Nothing works. If that guy who is dealing with you, if he has to take some stand, that is the final. He has to do everything. So that was craziest crossing, and of course, so all the borders were great. People were actually great. So
Cultural change from one border. You crossed the border and did you felt something? See why I am asking this question. I am not talking about country, but in recent trip moved from Darjeeling to Sikkim and just crossed West Bengal and I started that roads are good, the houses are beautiful. All of a sudden the sideways are clean, something like that. So you have crossed number of countries. So what is that experience?
I think it's a really very good question. The reason being, the only thing which will make you scared is when you cross the border, you really feel it first hand that they are so watertight, nothing gets percolated. Even 5,000 kilometers you are traveling, 500 kilometers you are traveling, 1,000 kilometers you are traveling, all of a sudden everything changes. At 0 kilometer, you see behavior is changing. Clothing, the food, the way they talk to you, everything, it's not currency only. It's not, so that is something, we have asked this to many people. People have expressed it differently and everyone has a realization of it. They're really pinching you that how come, in 0 kilometer you find that changes. So some of the borders are just a gate. There is no between no man's land. Of course, some of the borders are very sensitive. Kilometers, there is no man's land. But in some of the border, even in the border where there is not much distance between two countries, you will really find this difference, which is actually something you feel scary about.
We have seen number of pictures in your video, very attractive food. So you are foodie. I have 2-3 questions. One is, how you could manage about the food part of it, number one. What will happen if someone vegetarian travels on this? And not my question, but many people would like to ask you, how about the experience of drink across?
Safeguarding yourself, like you can travel.
I think one of the common questions at the border, are you carrying liquor? Are you carrying cigarettes? So this is a very common question. So every border you find this is being asked. Okay. I think food, you said I am foodie, you know me. Okay. I am actually very open to food. And I'm a Punjabi. Okay. But if you ask me today, I would preferably have 5 Marathi dishes of my liking before I take the name of Punjabi dish. So I think my initial days taught me that adaptability, that openness. I learned it in hard way. I came from a different culture, and I know that for the 6 months when I came to this place, from my place, Punjab, so I couldn't eat food. In my house, even my grandmother, I remember, even if it is more salt in the food, she can't eat. So even for salt was spicy. So I am from that kind of family. Bland food, nothing. And here, even however mirchi only. So for 6 months it was terrible. So then slowly I adopted. So I started loving spices. I started loving mirchi. Well, I can bet anyone sitting here can't eat the way how much hot I can eat the real spice today. Okay, and that probably is one of the reasons I am very open to the food smell. I am very open to the nature of food. I have the whole trip, I have not eaten Indian food. No Indian food anywhere except London. In between Tashkent I saw Raj Kapoor's hotel. So I said, Raj Kapoor, I should go because in the whole Central Asia, in the earlier United Soviet Russia, Raj Kapoor still जिंदा है, आज भी राज कपूर जिंदा है और हर आदमी राज कपूर को जानता है. So I went there I had one samosa, but otherwise the whole trip I had tried local food, roadside food, smaller place, up to the best food place. I tried variety of food, but my focus was that not to miss traditional food. So London I ate Indian food just to tease Britishers. Otherwise, I have not eaten anywhere this thing. So food is lovely. I think food is something which tells you about that place. You should not miss that. Actually food talks to you. And if you have some resistance, of course I respect the food choice. If someone is vegetarian, I really appreciate. No problem if you are vegetarian. But in the whole trip, vegetarians have challenges because you have gone, you go to the remotest of the places. So where even with vegetarian they can bring you the meat. Even after 10 times you take vegetarian, still you get the meat, and that is challenge. But once you get into Georgia and onwards, then no problem.
Any favorite country like you really love the food in?
Food?
Within the 20 countries?
I don't know, people may feel offending when I say China. China, they have the best food. And they have variety of food. And their serving and their cuisine, unbelievable. They are the best out of the world. So, of course, every country has something very, very unique. But if you ask me personally what I like most, the Chinese. They have the range of.
Munish, couple of locations where you are really impressed. Still you remember that great place, great location, and why? Maybe.
You know, see, China, I have this initial terrain video. Don't play the video. Just stop it because they have seen a lot of video. Okay. No, if you play the first video, little bit play the first video. Just, no, the back side, play the first video. Yes. Can you see the surveillance equipment on the right of the road? You see, right of the road, you see the poles. Yes. And there, these poles are on every 100 feet. Every 100 feet, not meter, mind you. They have the excellent surveillance system. Throughout the route, 5,000 kilometers was fenced. Every 100 feet, there was cameras, there was surveillance. By jokingly, I said even that guy was really, in not good mood at the exit. I said, can you give me my million of photographs which you have taken? So, I think China's security system is very, very critical. Very critical. I will give you one example. In Kashgar, I went out for my car wash, and it was 1.5 kilometers from my hotel. And when the car wash was going on, the two gentlemen, the police guys on the electric cycle came to me, and they said, please show me your passport. And one of the guy was knowing English. And Kashgar is quite an interesting, historically interesting place, and even there are tourists, less Indian, no Indian by the way, but many tourists come there, therefore the police was there. So they said, show me your passport. I said, my passport is in the room, can you see that photo? It is there. So call your passport. So he was insisting, I was just requesting him, let my car get washed. So, but he was insisting. Then at the end, after 4 or 5 minutes, I said, okay, I can walk and get my passport. Because I can't take my car, it is halfway, it's getting washed. And it's not like India, if someone in police is there, then कार वाला कार साफ कर रहा है, दुकान वाला दुकान कर रहा है, वो मेरे को टॉर्चर कर रहा है, कोई भी बीच में नहीं आ रहा. So then I started walking. He said, come on. And he took my picture on his mobile phone, a literal mobile phone, no any other gadget. And in mobile phone, he said, "Is it you?" And it was me with my passport detail. When I entered in China, how many places I stayed, when I checked in Kashgar. The whole information was there. In China, you can't drive, you have to get Chinese number plate, you have to get Chinese driving license. In Shigaste is one of the place where you have to go to RTO, you have to apply for it, and it is a discretion of the RTO officer. He can check the fitness of your car, he can ask you to drive, he can take your driving test. But in our case, we got everything on documents. Then later on we realized that our chip, our number plate was having chip, and everything was getting tracked because of the number plate. And in Xinxia region, you can't get even petrol. All the petrol pumps are locked with barricading. You have to have a local person with you with a local ID, and you have to get in, and everything, your car number, your permissions, they enter in the fuel pump, and then the pump will go on. So there is a lot of control. So in China, Xinxia region, every 75 kilometers, we got police check. 60 to 70% of the toll are manned by police, not by the civilians. So that is one area, but but I don't know why, even after this kind of, you are experiencing, but still there is no fear as such. The overall environment, gives you, okay, confidence, okay, fine, even though it is, all those things are happening, still you are okay. So that is one thing, and I think there are a lot of interesting. Russia was, I think, southern Russia, where Volga river merges into Caspian Sea, was the point. It is Astrakhan, it's a oil company's capital, you can say. When you travel from Kazakh to Russia, around 200 kilometers of stretch, both the sides you have oil well. A lot of oil is getting extracted just on the roadside. And you cross Volga river to get into Astrakhan, and just 70 kilometers there where the Volga merges into Caspian. So very, very interesting place. There and entire southern Russia is very beautiful. We went to Mount Elbrus, which is the highest peak in the whole Europe and Russia. And we went to the place which was more like Western Ghats, lot of flora, fauna. We went to the deserted villages. But one thing there I could notice, in small villages in Russia, you only find old people, ladies and the small kids, children, because all the youngsters are on the borders. And in one of my experience, I was in small shop, the two young girls, they were there in the shop. Then when they came to know that I am doing this, the girl said, "Can you stay with us today?" So they miss, there is nobody. From last 4 years, 3.5 to 4 years, everyone is in the border, and they don't know whether they are alive or not alive. That kind of situation is there. So Russia was very interesting. Georgia is a Jalna road. Jalna road between Asia and Europe, because it's a little Jalna road, but very, 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 very nicely managed traffic. But the whole of the trade which happens from China to Central Asia and to Europe, they have only one highway. And every second country you will find Chinese investment in tunnels, you will find Chinese investment in roads making, and in any of the border, thousands and thousands of trucks with Chinese number moving with the cars right from the BYD. You can see BYD, the real what BYD is doing, you can see actually the borders. And even Nepal border, there are 500 BYD cars waiting for clearance there. So lot of right from daily things to I don't know, they supply everything. What kind of understanding, and even rest of the infrastructure they are making, Chinese, against the free trade for next 30 years. Every day China is creating marketing for their own people. That you can see first hand, that what is happening there. Of course, every place, like Turkey was the most amazing. We entered Turkey at Trabzon, from where the Black Sea starts. Actually, it starts at Batumi, First, Black Sea, you get at Batumi in Georgia itself. From there, the Turkey border is very near. All the Turkish people come to Batumi to play gambling. So all casinos you will find, it is Las Vegas of Asia, is Batumi. That is the only place where I saw Indians. Tbilisi and Batumi, at the whole trip, these are the two places where I could see Indian, and in Tashkent. Otherwise, in the whole trip, you can't see Indians. So that was one of the reasons, the kind of reception which we were getting. You know, it's not you, it's the people who will realize you what you are doing. And they really, you really feel like the kind of reception you get. And I have thousands of experience of people coming out, the hotel manager, GM, the chef. The moment they know that there are people, they take the picture. The ambassador, Indian ambassador to Turkey, and he was saying, "Can I take selfie with you? आपकी कार के साथ फोटो लूँ क्या? आप साथ फोटो लूँ क्या? चलो बाहर, इधर फोटो लेंगे, फ्लैग के साथ फोटो लेंगे." Same in the Serbia. See, all the embassies were knowing we are traveling, and we got a special request from the Turkish ambassador that you have to come. And because of this, all the political scenario, he invited us 3 hours. He was listening to us. Very nice, MK Pradesi, very senior bureaucrat. And that was Bakri, and he invited everyone. High Commission, Deputy High Commission, everybody was there. Staff of 70 people. Even on the holiday that we are coming. So I think it's not about the great people and on the great positions, but even the local and common men, give you the real excellent treatment.
Munish, on the road, let us keep 3 countries aside: China, Russia, and Turkey. Others are not very prominent names. How do you compare India with these countries when on the road, looking at the road conditions, looking at the accidents, looking at behavior of the people? Where are we?
See, the immediate thing which will give you the the feel of the good water, very nice air quality, and very little noise pollution. I think this country is deprived from these 3 things. Satish ji was asking that jet lag hua kya aane ke baad. So it was energy drop, not the jet lag. Because when you start smelling bad air, when you start drinking bad water, when a lot of noise hits to your ear, you really feel sad about it. Our country is great, but I think our country deserves these 3 things, and which we lack severely. That is one thing. I think another thing, I felt really bad of one thing, that I was under impression last 10-15 years we made good routes. I think you realize when you went, drive on the countries which are not known, where Chinese have not invested much. They have the excellent road infrastructure, and the real comfort and sense of safety, and the real comfort of driving. I had never had, even west of the highway in this country. I am not talking about Europe. Europe is the best, Autobahn is the best. I am not talking about that. I am talking about the Central Asian countries, where you get that so smooth and comfortable road. You can drive thousands of kilometers without touching steering. If you can put a coffee cup on your dashboard, I can bet you it will not spill out. Okay, now that kind of roads, and really I felt bad that road engineering, road design, road construction is something which is known. India is so good. We are best of the designer, we are best of the things. And you feel bad that you are not able to achieve something where everything is known, everything is established, but still you are not getting things. So that will make you sometimes sad and scary when we will achieve things where things are not completely known. When we will go to the level where there are real challenges. Why in this country we are not able to get good roads? Road marking, oh my God, it's a continuous work. The road you can make and see after 1 year, 2 years for maintenance. But marking, I have not seen the poorest of the country. You see, Russia is a 2 trillion economy. Okay? And it has the size of economy and basic infrastructure had nothing to do. I could establish that. Russia is such a 20 times bigger than India. We went to the smallest of the village. We went to even the rough roads are better here. They are so good in road and marking everywhere. And you know, traffic violation, each one of our convoy paid for traffic violation. Each one of, they are so strict. And for an example, you are driving and some road maintenance is going on. I could see first time the meaning of temporary signage and how they warn you. And they don't surprise you. They tell you are under surveillance. Here is drone, here is camera. They tell you everything in advance. That no, in another 500 meters there will be a camera. They don't be just standing. Of course, there are random police standing everywhere. But wherever they have the permanent infrastructure. So, in temporary signages, if you violate any temporary signage rule, the penalty is 5 times. Because there is more risk, therefore they are telling you to go slow and take diversion, be like this end. And if you are breaking solid line, there if you are not controlling speed, then there is $100, $150, $200, that kind of fine you can see. So signage is one thing, ADAS is coming, ADAS 2 is already there, even the small cars are having ADAS. How you will get benefit? Because ADAS is something which can really keep you safe on the road, provided you have proper signages. And he got a good car, he was trying his feature and he could, you have a dash because there are no signages, there are no clear signages. The new car he got damaged. So signage is one thing which is really very good and that is very much integral part of safety, road safety. In India it is missing.
Before others ask question, I am moving towards last 2 questions. What was your feeling when you reached London and the time when the car was to be handed over and you are coming back? So how was that feeling?
See, after the trip, next day we were supposed to give our car to the port. And from Westminster we drove some 2 hours for giving the car. Till then it was everything okay. And the moment I gave my car, I felt stripped. I got a feeling that I lost my very important possession, and that was experience. And you really felt like crying, that is the kind of experience you get through, people, through food, through receptions, through everything. And I felt stripped. And second, when I was sitting in the aeroplane, because of Iran air space, the flight was taking 2 hours more than the normal 10 hours, usually 8 hours direct flight from London to Delhi. So 2 hours, I was just seeing that, what was the new route, let me see the map. I was tracking and I realized, that I am seeing from last 45 minutes. And the feeling was, now the world is more familiar than what it was. And you really, when you see the map, you feel like you are there. And I am telling you one thing, lot of suggestions are coming, write book, this and that, before you forget. This trip is not like that. It is so deeply engraved that if I close my eyes and within few seconds I can drive down. Again, I can drive the whole route in few seconds. It is so fresh, it is so deep. And one thing I realized, we all travel and each one of us spend time outside. But in trip like this, you completely getting uprooted. Completely getting uprooted from the place. And whether it is your everyday's concern, whether it is your work, lot of things, because you know you can't drive with that kind of mindset. You have to be uprooted, and that is one thing which helped you. And zero health problem I got. Zero. Every day I was changing my location. It's not that I was having option to acclimatize. You are moving every day. You have different food, different water, different weather outside. And driving 10 hours, the doctors were asking me, I had a good meeting, kind of interaction like this with the doctors. They said, भाई आपका health का कैसा था? 10 घंटे तो आप बैठे रहते थे. मैंने कहा, I never got any problem. I have 4.5 hour average sleep, 65 days. No energy level down. Nothing. I could read much more than which I usually read. No exertion. No health problem. 4 बजे उठे 4 बजे पेट साफ, 5 बजे उठे 5 बजे साफ, 6 बजे 6 बजे. No, because you have this, you can't afford diarrhea when you are in trip like this. You can't afford constipation when you are in trip like this. You are on the convoy, you are driving there, you can't disturb others. And it's not like India, you can't sit anywhere. So it's not like that. So you talk to yourself. You say, I have to be healthy. I have to remain healthy. And you get that. His mind is so strong. I never ever experienced. My stomach is still upset. Just everything's got so much aligned, so fine-tuned. You don't feel like any challenge of all the variation what you are getting. I think it's all mind. It's all mind, and you are doing something of your interest, and you are enjoying it, and the whole body, everything, psychology. Therefore, I said this is more psychophysical experience. So it's a more psychophysical. You really feel, you get into it. So of course, I am little passionate about seeing maps. अभी भी कोई मेरे साथ map आया तो I will just, one of the guide, Ramil, we got interesting guide, PhD, history, this and that, very interesting people. So Ramil को बोला, Ramil, can I see you Ram? He said, I know Ramayana. I would really love that you are calling me Ram in this. You know what he gifted me? He was with us for 1 month. He gifted his map to me. And I brought that with me, centralization map. So map is something which really fascinates me. I really love to see things. But now when I am seeing, I really find it good. There's something great, very different feeling.
Munish, before I go to last question, I have not asked you something, but which is important, which you felt, which is close to your heart. That sitting here, I could not ask that question. I could not imagine the situation. If you want to tell a couple of things which are not asked, but you feel that is fascinating, important, different, fearful, whatever.
I don't know, because now people are asking what was your purpose. Even Mr. M.K. Pradeshi asked that, I really want to know your purpose. Each one of you, how come you guys can take this thing like that? Is someone who's asking this question, whose job is always outside India. Okay. So I retrospectively thinking that what was that? Okay. So why I was on trip like this?
And what inspired you?
I think yes, you can say maybe unconsciously, not consciously you have taken decision to go. It's a more of daring, madness, everything you can talk about. But unconsciously, I think my interest in history, my interest in religion, my interest in culture, my interest in evolution. That's why I took, before going National University Singapore's lecture on Eurasian, this thing, because when I thought I am crossing the whole Anatolia region, when I am going to cross all the steppes, things, I thought I should learn more and more. That is how in smaller time you can only take lecture, you can't read book. And I think unconsciously that might be there. I think that's a very important factor. You should have to have something very strong to go. Okay, So, and that is what I am feeling now after finishing. You can see also the 2 points, dots you can connect. So that, and of course, another little experience of Kyrgyzstan when Umesh and we went to Kyrgyzstan, we drove there 1800 kilometers last year, and there we felt this is the best way to see any country.
We miss you.
No, you are also there. We drove, of course, we both were in the same car, and we drove there, and we thought this is the best way to see any country. And that probably another triggering to the why all of a sudden after 1 year all. In fact, I propose all these things to all my co-partners in traveling.
Partners in crime.
I think there's a lot of things, and that is the reason I might have taken. And I really want that. I know few of the people sitting in this hall, they are real passionate. Then they really do things which they like, other than routine, other than businesses, other than lot of kashmakash of every day. I think taking out time. I first time realized Samir was sabbatical. This was my and I actually how important is sabbatical. And because you have to come out once in your lifetime, take a pause, what you are saying. That break is very important. You know what is the most important thing? जब तक जिंदा हो आपको परेशानियां आएंगी, उसी को जिंदा होने की बात कहते हैं. But how to fix it mentally? You learn that in this training. If you lose the mental peace, how to fix it? I was not knowing how to fix it. Now I know how to fix it. So that is something very important. No? If you are not getting disturbed, then what life you are living? You are supposed to get disturbed every day, but you should know how to fix it also. And that is what will make you really productive and efficient. This is something, because with a lot of pressure you can't deliver things. You should know how to release the pressure. That you learn first time, not by management lectures.
Work was not on mind, not thinking that maybe this country we could have partnership.
Say thanks to my partner behind me.
I have to get it right.
Yes, you should catch it.
But great to know, and I think Zindagi Zinda Dili ka naam. आपने prove कर दिया. You are inspired lots of people, and especially I think you should inspire the young generation.
I really love to have 2 special people. One is this guy, and another is Antariksh San. Where is he? I think you both deserve good gift from me. You are here, so I'm more excited to see both of you.
वो उसको कोई सवाल भी था
किसको अब हाँ
आशय को
मुकुल सर ने सवाल खत्म होने के बाद
My last question is very simple. Munish, 60 plus days, 20,000 plus kilometers, 20 plus countries, with no constitution, no diarrhea. After coming back,
very important.
okay, after coming back, what is the change and what is the gain?
Constitution हो गया.
Of course, 100%. He's right. I think he answered your question. No, I think I can connect with youngsters better now. I am in education, and I can really connect with their thought process, their aspirations. I may do a little better justice than what I used to do. And that was the reason I started reading more other subjects than engineer. I can tell you today, if I am little bit good engineer, it's just because of the other subjects, not the engineering. And I started reading all these subjects because when I thought I am in education, I should know the sociology, I should know the people and the history and the evolutions and why we are here, why we think like that. I think when you are in education, you may not be expert of anything, but it should not happen that someone is asking questions and you are not in position to receive it. So I think now my perception about all those things has broadened, more, better, sensible, I probably could do better justice to what I am doing today. And you really, of course, family is very important, by the way. Okay? Because someone was asking me, did you miss anything? And in my spontaneous response, I said nothing. Bijli was listening. And he thought, how one can think like that? I said, so family. How? Of course, you miss. If you always feel either बिजली होती तो अच्छा था, इधर अर्थ होता तो अच्छा था. ये भी वो देखना चाहिए. No, I mean, I owe to them. I would really see to it that if possibly I can take them. They are not like this, but other.
Thank you, floor is open.
One thing I can vouch, as we traveled a lot together, specifically Kyrgyzstan, which was a route course. He knows the places by heart. Before going anywhere, he studies the history. He tells the story about that particular place. Even in Kyrgyzstan, he was talking a lot many things about Kyrgyzstan, which is in a way a remote this thing. So all this is possible, I think, because of his personal passion about roaming around.
One point of time, Umeshji, I felt road is talking to me. Can you show the road map, Silk Route map? उसमें एक map दिखाई.
Before that, immediate question, to start the session of question answer.
Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned everything about why you went on this particular expedition. You didn't mention about driving. If not like the passion, इतना सब कुछ आपने बताया, ये चाहिए वो चाहिए, इसके वजह से मिल गया, but you didn't touch driving.
See, driving, that lady just who went catching the flight, she asked me, भाई right hand drive में left hand आपने कैसे किया? मैं कहा you should ask me. जब मैं डोवर में पहुंचा लंदन यूके साइड में, तो मैंने राइट हैंड कैसे राइट हैंड में चलाया? See, driving is not a problem. In 2023 in US, my son was telling, Baba, गाड़ी चलाओ, गाड़ी चलाओ. And he was insisting, he called Bijli, Baba is not driving. So I said, okay, for him, I will drive in US. So I drove there just 30 minutes. I said, here, तेरी गाड़ी ले ले, मेरे से नहीं चलाई जानी. लेफ्ट हैंड में गाड़ी, लेफ्ट हैंड में चलाना था. तो अभी राइट की लेफ्ट में कुछ नहीं होता. आई थिंक जो इंडिया में ड्राइव कर सकता है वो दुनिया में कहीं भी नहीं. और आपको बताता हूँ 65 days you are driving wrong car at wrong side, and in London I couldn't feel that there is change. I started driving right, and there was no any question to my mind that now I would drive like it happens. And you become a very good driver. No, you can't even drive 40-ton truck. Driving is something you should really love. Otherwise, that will be one of the problem. 10 hours average drive sometimes can bother you. So you have to be, because there were 2-3 endurance tests happened. 17 hours in a day, 13 hours in a day, 12 hours in a day. There are 3-4 exceptions where we required to drive a longer stretch. And one Amdo was the place, 17,000 feet height. My oxygen, dissolved oxygen was 75. And I was not able to, the whole night I couldn't sleep because मेरे पैर ठंडे थे, वो गर्म ही नहीं हो रहे थे. और अगले दिन 17 घंटे ड्राइव किया. और जब 2:30 बजे घर पहुंचे होटल में, क्रैश हुए, 7 बजे मैं ब्रेकफास्ट पे. So I think ड्राइविंग का पैशन होना चाहिए ऐसे ट्रिप में, अदरवाइज वो एक चैलेंज हो सकता है.
But within your convoy, did the guides had anything to share for every type of terrain or just weather, how to just drive on a snowy road when it's really rainy?
You are highly connected through radios, and these guides are so interesting. They'll add a lot of. I have one video where my guide is talking. You saw in the earlier video. Even in this presentation, I have guide talking. If you listen 2 minutes, 3 minutes their narration, you feel like going. Not. They are very honest. they don't have only knowledge of their place, they know the world. And guideship, I mean, you know what is the biggest expense after my diesel petrol? Tipping guide. They are so good, you can't resist yourself what to pay. They are so well educated.
What did you carry? Dollars, pounds, euros?
See, in two places you have a problem. Russia, nothing works. Okay, you have to have cash, thanks to Antariksh. And Antariksh father who gave me rubles. Okay. and in China, it's very tricky. We are talking about UK, we were just talking about UK before the session. I think Chinese are far, far ahead in the payment system. Okay, you did not to scan, just touch the phone, okay? So, their whole payment system is different. No Visa, no MasterCard, no American Express, nothing works there. So, but money exchange is very easy. Money exchange is very easy. If you have dollars, you have to have, you can exchange. Dollars are acceptable everywhere. So these two places are problems for payment. Rest you can use cards, whatever you have payment. That's what.
What was the highest speed? Highest speed and the terrain?
Highest speed, I touched the maximum speed of my car at Aurangabad. And you know, I saw only 3 accidents in 21,000 kilometers.
Wow.
One Kyrgyzstan, 2 Uzbek. No accident anywhere. No accident.
Still touch 200.
Yeah. And I touched here also 180 when there was new road built between Baroda and Ahmedabad. Dhurt So I was on Skoda Superb. I touched 180 there, and while driving I saw outside, and when I came back it was very difficult for me to focus. So I decided not to drive that fast, even the road is good. But when you drive the roads which I am talking about, you can talk like, because the feel inside is 60, 80, even if you're driving 200. Because of the comfort which road gives you, which we don't get in India. It's all corruption.
Yeah. So can you touch upon some aspects where India is far ahead of the Western countries?
I think Indian people are far, far ahead than any other country. But rest of things, let us not compare. See, I think our mindset, we can work in any number of constraints. We are multitasking people. Okay, they're all good things Indians have. You find even उधर के आदमी को 2 बातें बोली तो पहले भूल जाता है. So there are a lot of things, but in infrastructure wise we are worse than even in smallest country. Let us accept that. Let us accept that we don't know how to ask the right questions. It's a problem. Those countries are also corrupt. But when it comes to the basic things which affects everybody's life, they don't compromise. So there are things quite visible. No PhD is required for that. Just you can see that is.
But I think that you said that you could drive easily in all those countries. Would any of those people be able to easily drive in India?
They will die here. They will die here. I am telling you, even in India I don't press horn. Okay? My driver, when driving with me, he can't press horn. I have not pressed a single time any horn anywhere in 21,000 kilometers also. I saw only one horn when I was not able to park in Europe, and the guy was so annoyed. He said, "Gaadi nikal." Parking ki mein antar, not on the road. In Europe, parking is something which is very tricky, a very, very small place and very, very costly. 30 euro, 40 euro, 45 euro per day, and places are so neck to neck. And you have to park, and that is one thing where your driving skills are tested.
Munish ji, do you think this surveillance in China is really working? Even for the
I think very good question. Aveji, I asked my guide, can you tell me the aspiration of Chinese youth? He said every youngster in China once in his lifetime would like to fly outside China to get internet and to know what is happening. So this is something which is, I asked my guide whether what is happening, whether this is sustainable, and he was upfront, I doubt. And that is how we are seeing Xi Jinping, who made the constitution change to be the lifetime president. He is in trouble because there is a lot of unrest in the public. And Xinxia means new frontier. Every border China has encroached, including Xinxia. Xinxia was part of Mongolia. Xinxia was part of Central Asia. They changed the name from East Turkey to Xinxia, and Xinxia means new frontier. So everywhere, Arunachal also they are looking for new frontier. Everywhere this is their, I would say, modus operandi of just grabbing land of all the border countries. They have no good relation with Tajikistan. They are also fighting with the border. Mongolia they are fighting with the border. India they are fighting with the border.
Fighting with Vietnam.
Yeah, but everybody is, so that is, I don't say, and people are, this youngster is literally, he was telling, he said, don't quote me anywhere in social media. I don't want the police knocking my door. Yeah. So that is something which China has a false side, but in other, if you see that they are far, far.
One human question. What was Bijli's contribution to your entire adventure? That was the first thing I thought of when
You want honest answer? You want honest answer? When I thought of going, the first person was Bijli. I said, Bijli, मैं ऐसा जाना चाहता हूँ, तो she said, go.
क्या बात है?
And she is the one who taught me driving. और उसके बाद मैं उसकी ड्राइविंग में गलतियाँ निकालता. And she taught me driving just by saying sit on the driving seat, and she was on the other side, and I was not knowing anything about driving. Since then I am her driver.
She made you a driver
Of
from day
course.
one.
Day one, but at very high risk. Like that, you don't know driving, you are saying, okay, you drive, I am sitting. And she is so comfortable that I am driving nonsensically, still she is comfortable.
सर आपकी एंटायर जर्नी में जैसे 5000 ईयर्स अब आप जाएंगे तो दूर दूर तक हमारा ये इंडियंस लोगों का इम्पैक्ट था पूरे वर्ल्ड के ऊपर जो सिल्क रूट बोलते हैं वहाँ पर पूरा हमारा इम्पैक्ट था. एवरीबडी आउटसाइड द वर्ल्ड दे वांट टू विजिट इंडिया बिकॉज ऑफ डिफरेंट रीजंस. तो आपको इंटरेक्ट करते समय ऐसा कुछ अभी दिखा है कि इंडिया के बारे में लोग अच्छा बोलते हैं, भारत के बारे में अच्छा बोलते हैं, या वो यहाँ आना चाहते हैं?
Because I first time, I not like that this is I a great traveler, I keep traveling, okay. I have seen half of the world, you can say like that, okay. But during this trip, first time I realized Indian passport command great respect. Everywhere, including China, and that probably the recent change. And I told you, Russia, US passport, UK passport, all those that travel somewhere or other. Indian passport.
Did anybody sing to you, like apart from that Georgian guy, did anybody sing to you Bollywood songs, spoke about Shah Rukh Khan?
Oh, in China, Kashgar is one place where I have seen people dancing on Bollywood, not knowing anything. I saw people working and they are listening Bollywood music, they only know Shah Rukh Khan. And that may be their motivation to listen Bollywood. They don't understand anything, but they listen Bollywood. I have very nice videos. I dance with them. And they really love Bollywood. And in Amir Khan is so popular in China. And Raj Kapoor in the whole Central Asia. आपने देखा ऐसे 3 लोग मिले जिन्होंने हमको देख के मेरा जूता है जापानी गाना बजाया. So still he is so popular.
मैं आवारा हूँ was very
Yes,
popular.
yes.
The grandmothers are fans of Raj Kapoor and the legacy continues, so the granddaughters really liking Ranveer Kapoor.
Sir, any vehicle issues? Your vehicle is punctured or got stuck?
Zero.
This was your regular vehicle?
Yes.
4x4?
हमारे कॉन्वॉय में एक महिंद्रा कार भी थी जिसको -10 में प्रॉब्लम हुआ, बट अदरवाइज कुछ प्रॉब्लम उसको पिकअप नहीं हो रहा था, कुछ तो इशू हो रहे थे, बट फॉर स्मॉलर पैच ऑफ द ट्रैक, बट अदरवाइज
Any 4x4 is required? 4x4 any hilly terrain?
सी अगर आपका 1.5 लीटर के ऊपर इंजन है, 1 लीटर का भी चल जाएगा एक्चुअली, यू कैन गो विद मारुति का. See, only problem is the ground clearance, because some of the roads are actually very rugged, so there you need good ground clearance. I think you can drive you should have good maintenance wala car, ऐसा उसको.
So what do you mean by the convoy? Mane, there was a fleet of cars?
Yeah, we were 7 cars.
Okay.
And who organizes this, because you can't travel on this route. Russia, we have seen Interpol, KGB, everything, and there also again Indian passport. Just Indian passport, half of the formality is over. Russia reception is unbelievable for Indians. Right from the border, during the trip, because of the war zone, we saw all the intelligence, the port में भी देखे, पुलिस ड्रेस में भी देखे, इंटरपोल भी देखा. एक तो इंटरपोल वाला सेल्फी लो जाओ, इंडियन. तो मेरे कार में मेरे जो पार्टनर थे वो यूएस सिटीजन थे, तो बाहर हमने स्टिकर लगाया था, इंडिया फ्लैग मेरा नाम, यूएस फ्लैग उनका नाम. जब भी वो इंटरपोल वाला होता था तो मैं जाके वो स्टिकर के सामने खड़ा होता था और मैं बोलता था तुम अपना पासपोर्ट दिखाओ, मत मेरा दिखाओ, तो गाड़ी खुलवा देगा पूरी.
Munish ji, hearty congratulations. You have achieved something which many people even do not dream of. 3 ऐसे कौन से सीन्स आपको नजारे सामने आते हैं कि जो मोस्ट मेमोरेबल पूरे ट्रिप में?
I think the Black Sea mesmerized me. I really loved the Sultan's place from where he ruled half of the world, Ottoman. And I love that terrain which is 15,000 feet. You can't stop yourself but to take picture. It's a 500-kilometer stretch with bumpy roads, but beautiful scenic views of.
That is in Tibet?
That is south, yes, that's in Tibet. When you drive to from Amdo to Kinhan province, the 500.
You spoke about the great roads, but I'm curious, did you see anywhere kachra being dumped or burned? River in nalas with sewage flowing, or did you not? Like, was there any place where you saw that as a common sight or as a rare sight?
Zero garbage I have seen. I think it is difficult to believe for any Indian for 21,000 kilometers with 20 countries crossing. I was searching for the solid waste, garbage. I couldn't find. Okay, and I saw Firdarya, Sardarya, Volga, many rivers, very clean. And when I'm saying there are good air, when I'm saying no noise pollution, when I'm saying good water, that means this. And this country, unfortunately, is full of garbage. आप इतने इंटीरियर में जाते हो, इतने छोटे छोटे. Can I show the night market videos? Show me one polythene outside, which is crowded, which is full of crowd. Go to street, small shops, go to lane, inside lane, you don't find garbage. And it is system, but above system, it is mindset of the people. That's very important. People don't throw garbage out. Yes.
Sir, is it possible without convoy, our own trip, we can arrange?
4 mothers drove in 2017 from Delhi to London by car. 4 mothers. अब उनको पूछेंगे बच्चे कहाँ रखे थे? जिसको जाना है वो जाएगा. But it is challenging. You should know. You need micro detail. Still, you can face uncertainties. You have to have that mindset.
They can go,
not sure about coming back.
No, it is, see, because of China and Russia, two countries, and if this is the same route, and that is the only route today available, I think it is difficult. You need local help. You need someone crossing 5,000 kilometers.
Suppose you done this expedition, again you want to go, you can go on your own preparation.
Anyone who would like to go, I can give them the great help. I will go bigger trip than
Can you go alone?
alone. I can no go.
This same route.
I can go alone now.
Without
because
preparation now.
I can go alone without preparation now because I know people who can help me passing those places. But if you don't know those people and if they are not there to receive you, you can't.
Guide is necessary.
Yes, because car is making your things more complex. Your own car. If you take car of that place, then it's much easier. And you need carnet of the pass, which is called car passport, which is must. You can't take the car without the carnet of the pass.
In China,
China and whole countries, carnet of the pass is very important. Even getting your car back, custom will not clear if it is not there. And going carnet of the pass is the document. And like certificate of origin, so it's the same like that.
Indian driving license sufficient no? On this track? Yes.
Very interesting. I was having ideal international driving license which we issued together. It was on paper. I was very reluctant in all very high technology countries showing my license on paper and that with one ink stamp. So I said this is something which will create doubt. I never showed my ideal. I always showed my Maharashtra driving license. And it worked everywhere. It worked everywhere. I decided, I said, ये साला confusion create कर रहा है, कौन सा सिक्का मार के लाया डीलर लगता है, बहुत गंदा है. But then I came to know that there is ideal on card also, which is valid as per your validity of the Indian driving license, and that is very good. I think anyone who would like to try, they can get it is available in Bangalore, Delhi, Pune, larger city. You can apply, show your license, you will get that card. Smart card. Smart card. It is important. ये तो एक साल के लिए देते हैं.
Any last question?
I want to spotlight your leadership, how you changed the face of this MIT, and how whenever we speak as proud alumni, everybody else who's not visited the college yet, we're like, जाओ यार, पहचान ही नहीं आएगा, क्या काम किया है, इतना आगे बढ़ा है. So with this whole trip, are you bringing back a few things to the university, maybe to the policy system, where you're saying sabbatical something लेना चाहिए? So other corporate organizations have these policies. Can we look forward to having that say for MIT staff?
ये मीटिंग के बाद घर पे चाय पीने पे बता.
Ahead of time, so.
विवेकानंद ने क्या बोला है, दुनिया को बदलना है ना, तो इंडिविजुअल को बदलो. लीडरशिप एवर इवॉल्विंग थिंग. और राजीव बजाज कहते हैं कि लीडरशिप सब बोगस ही है.
MBA bogus. Leadership is bogus. He says MBA is bogus.
No, of course. We'll certainly talk on this.
चाय नहीं मैं खाने आऊँगी, उसको बहुत पसंद आते हैं.
अरे वो उसने तुमने चाय ऑफर की उसने खाया. Good idea.
Yes, thank you.
Sir, can I request CP Tripathi sir for concluding?
So, when he was describing his journey, I was very attentively listening to him, and my first conclusion was he is a passionate driver. He loves driving. Without that, he couldn't have done that. But one thing which he said, and I think to a great extent some of us may be feeling, experiencing it, is your mental preparation. When he went on this, he says everything was working beautifully. This is the living example of power of mind. And he has experienced it, and some of us may also have experienced it. And when you are idle, your mind is not prepared, you don't know what to do, a lot of things start catching you. You start feeling bad about something. So
So that's probably a very good message that we all can carry, is that somewhere this mental strength is very important. Recently I was reading one article where a person was suffering with number of diseases, even with cancer.